I'm Dr. Debbie. Welcome to Music Storytime from the National Music Museum at the University of South Dakota. My assistant, Pierré, is a coyote puppy, and although he doesn't say very much, he listens very carefully. The story I'm going to tell you is a very, very old one. In fact, it's more than 800 years old. It's a legend called the Pied Piper of Hamelin. The music you will hear, that's not that old. That was written only about a year ago by my friend Charles Dibley. Once upon a time, a town called Hamelin had a big problem. Hamelin was a prosperous town. Barges full of corn would come down the river and unload at Hamelin. There were silos full of corn in Hamelin. Barges full of wheat would come up the river and unload at Hamelin. There were silos full of wheat in Hamelin. There were mills for grinding the corn and wheat, and bakeries for making bread and cakes, and shops for selling the bread and cakes. With all of the good things to eat, Hamelin became full of rats. Rats would eat the corn in the silos. Rats would eat the wheat in the silos. Rats would eat the bread in the bakeries, and rats would eat the bread in the homes of the townspeople who bought the bread. Rats got into the cupboards, into the closets, and even into the beds of the townspeople. And the rats were growing and breeding and breeding and growing. Soon the rats were so bad that nothing and no one was safe from them. The townspeople were angry. They marched to the town square and pounded on the big brass doors of town hall, demanding to know what the mayor was going to do. The people started to chant, "No rats! No rats! No rats!" When the mayor came out to address the people, he was surrounded by the city council. Nervously, he said, "We've tried everything to rid Hamelin of the rats, but to no luck. We are prepared to offer a reward of 1,000 gold coins to any person who can rid the town of all of these rats." The very next day, a stranger appeared in Hamelin. He was different from everyone else. His clothes were very colorful, and he wore a hat covered with feathers. Around his neck was a thin strap. From that hung a beautiful black and silver clarinet pipe. The stranger, known as the Pied Piper, quietly walked to the town square and knocked on the big brass doors of town hall. He announced to the mayor and city council that for the reward of the 1,000 gold coins, he could rid the town of the rats that day. The mayor enthusiastically agreed, and the Pied Piper stepped outside. The Pied Piper quietly stood in the middle of town square and looked around. He took a deep breath and blew a few notes on his black and silver clarinet pipe. away. Rats started to scurry toward the piper. The Pied Piper continued to play a beautiful melody, and more rats scurried to the piper. When every last rat had joined the piper, he continued to play his black and silver clarinet pipe and danced toward the river. The rats scurried and danced after him. When the piper came to the river, he waded in up to his waist. The rats, busy dancing along, scurried into the river water where they were carried off by the current and drowned. The Pied Piper stopped playing his black and silver clarinet pipe and quietly walked back to the Hamelin town square. There, he found the mayor, the city council, and all the townspeople celebrating. They were cheering, jumping up and down, and clapping their hands. No more rats! No more rats! No more rats! Everyone exclaimed. The Pied Piper walked up to the mayor and asked for his 1,000 gold coin reward. The mayor and city council frowned. How can you expect to be paid 1,000 gold coins? All you did was play your silly black and silver clarinet pipe and dance into the river. We can't pay you 1,000 gold coins for that. The townspeople agreed and clapped wildly. The Pied Piper simply looked at the mayor, the city council, and the townspeople with great sadness in his eyes. Quietly, he picked up his black and silver clarinet pipe and played a few notes. From far away in the houses and schools, the children of Hamelin started to dance toward the town square. The Pied Piper continued to play a beautiful melody, and more children danced into the square. When every last child had joined the piper continued playing and danced off toward the mountain. All the children followed the Pied Piper, dancing away. The music spoke of fresh air, clean water, and peace. Come back! Come back! Cried the townspeople. But the children did not hear. When the Pied Piper and children arrived at the mountain, a secret door opened up, and the piper and children danced and giggled their way into the mountain. Once inside, the door closed tight. Even though they tried and tried, the townspeople were never able to find the door. Finally, they returned to Hamelin. Eventually, the townspeople got over their shock, and life continued to go on. Barges full of corn, came down the river and unloaded at Hamelin. Soon the silos were full of corn. Barges full of wheat came up the river and unloaded at Hamelin. Soon the silos were full of wheat. The townspeople, mayor, and city council never forgot the lesson they learned from the Pied Piper. From then on, and for all time, they always paid their debts in full and on time. Even today, on days when the wind blows just right off the mountain, you can hear the beautiful melody of the Pied Piper's black and silver clarinet pipe, and hear the footsteps of children dancing